Hello, everyone, and welcome to Entertainment Expansion. We're your hosts, Tyler Callahan and Mike Ferrante. Mike, how you doing this week?
I'm absolutely chilling, Tyler. How about yourself?
I am chilling as well. I think we have a solid episode. This is personally one of my more favorite episodes to do, as it's starting to wrap up. 2022 is coming to a close. We got our Oscar films coming out. We got the remaining blockbusters coming out. But you know what? We've been hyped about those for months with trailers, posters. We're kind of done with them. We need to get hyped about next year. A month from
Yes,
now
we
is
do.
2023, and I don't know if you looked at the release calendar or not, but if nothing gets delayed, next year is going to be a lot bigger than what we got this year. Due to COVID and everything pushing around productions, this year was good, but there were some films that should have come out that were pushed back. So
Absolutely.
we have a chock full slate of films, big and small, in 2023. This is obviously our not our prediction, our favorite picks of what we are most excited for. They might not pan out. They could be utter trash. But going into
Yep.
January 1st, we want to see these the most. Mike, I'll start with you. What do you got?
All right. So starting off my list is a pretty big title that I'm sure everyone's heard of. It is called Cocaine Bear. Yep. That is a movie, the last uh, performance by Ray Liotta. I'm absolutely kidding. I'm here to talk about John Wick 4, not Cocaine Bear.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I've heard nothing about Cocaine Bear, but other than the title, that's about it. But obviously, let's start off the list with John Wick 4.
I guess I'll throw in. This is one of my on my list as well. So take it away.
So obviously, we're if you've been listening to us to it for a little while, we're big fans of the franchise. They're great action movies. Slight skepticisms towards the latter films as they kind of get a little bit too fantastical and breaking away from their grounded realism. Like they've always kind of been a hyper sense of realistic action films, but part three might have been a little excessive on that note. But we'll see how far they kind of continue that trend.
Okay. Uh, I'm curious you say that because the new trailer for Chapter 4, it's like it kind of just builds off of 3.
Yes, it does.
Like he's on a horse in the desert in a shootout. He's running up the steps in Paris in a shootout. It's like I understand your concerns compared to where he was in part one, a very realistic club shootout. 3, he's going around the world and he's
It's not so much the shootouts that I'm
it's
kind
how
of
there's this
apprehensive
lore,
about.
right? Before it was just a hotel, one currency, simple rules. Now it's high table. Who's in the high table? How do these rules happen? And
No, not even necessarily that.
really,
Um, to
because I
put
hear
it plainly,
complaints
have
about
the
how that's too convoluted. I don't think so, but
it's convoluted, but it kind of makes sense in a
yeah.
world. Like, of course, there's a hierarchy of these kind of things.
Hmm.
But kind of where the last one left off, him falling off the roof of a building, hitting everything on the way down, and just kind of he's okay. Like you're not getting up after that. You're not. Like I get it. He's Baba Yaga. He is. I
Yeah.
get it.
I
But
mean, I
like
get it,
that's
but to
just
be fair, if he just fell straight down, he had to die. Like the
yeah.
only
Like
way, the only way he's alive is because he hit everything on the way down.
yeah. But even then, you are broken to the utmost degree.
Yeah.
So I
Um.
kind of hope they get themselves out of that writing hole. It seems like
Well, I hope
good
they just
old
give him a
Larry
time skip.
Fishburne.
I hope they give him a time skip because I will say, for as much as that, like that's kind of like pushing it a little too far, he is shown beat the shit, barely moving in front of Lawrence Fishburne at the end.
Yeah. So
But part
I'm kind
chapter
of hoping
4,
they
he's
show,
perfectly fine in a brand new suit. So how do they get there? Right? Where's his physical
yeah,
therapy?
or even just a hiatus.
Well, I'm hoping like they have an intro scene, cut 6 months later, cut a year later. Like he's in hiding because of what happened. If he's in hiding, recovering, and they say, hey, it took a few months or a year for him to get back to normal, that's realistic. If this takes place 2 weeks after, I'm like, whoa, this dude almost died
Yeah,
2 weeks
should be
ago, and
dead.
you're telling me he's running around Paris? No. Uh,
Agreed.
Look, worst comes to worst, we're gonna get some amazing shootouts.
Absolutely.
The 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 fight scene, it looks like with Donnie Yen, it's going to be amazing with the sword and guns. And I will say, them coming up with the bulletproof suit has allowed them to do a lot of unique fights,
Yes, it has.
and I'm happy for it.
Even though that is slightly unrealistic as well.
In theory, yeah, in theory it makes sense. Physics kind of shoots it, but whatever.
Correct. Not the fact that it could stop a bullet, but and they do kind of give a nod, like, "Oh yeah, I'm afraid the impact is quite painful." With a thin fabric like that, you're breaking rib, you get shot in the chest.
But it's a magic jacket.
Yes, yes, it is. But I think we've talked enough about John Wick Chapter 4. If you're not excited for it, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to be missing out. Tyler, would you take away the next one?
Sure. I believe this one might also be on your list. Dune Part 2.
That is accurate, but
All right, so Dune Part 2. Being directed once again by the fantastic Denis Villeneuve. I was excited for Dune. I think you were excited for Dune as well when it first came out last last year. Besides Enemy, the man can do no wrong.
yeah.
And even that Enemy wasn't bad. It was just weird and
Don't bring it up.
confusing.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
Just
Let's
like,
move on.
besides that, the man don't miss. Prisoners.
Yep.
Blade Runner 2049. Dune 1. The guy does it. So at this point now, he has become one of the few directors where just tell me the name of the movie, who's the cast. I don't care what the plot's about. I don't care what's the genre. I am there. He has my 100% support. And look, Dune is an old book series. They could do another 1 or 2 movies if they want to. There is content here. So he knows what he's doing. The cast is still great. So what's not to love? One of my concerns was that it was going to bomb at the box office and we wouldn't get the sequel. It made enough to get it. Thank you, God.
Yeah, I mean, his craftsmanship really shows in the first movie because I'm gonna be honest with you, I was not that excited to see the first one because I knew nothing about it, never watched the originals. But after watching the newest one, I should say, it was a very enjoyable film. Action scenes were good. The world building was good. It gets you invested into the story really quickly. And when it ended, you're like, well, I need to see more. And now we're finally getting that.
I will say one last thing. The balls on this man. The balls on this man. He has the studio promote this entire movie to get people in. It's just called Dune. Dune, 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 Dune. For 2 years. You start the credits right at the beginning. Dune, Part 1. Oh, the balls on that man.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, but how gutsy is that? You're getting all the general audience to come in expecting Dune, and that's it. There's no subtitles. They're thinking, oh, it's one movie. As soon as you sit down, the movie starts. It's Dune Part 1. It's like you are not getting a finale in this almost 3-hour movie.
Yeah, but I mean,
Which I love.
Makes sense. It's
yeah,
a
but the
power move
general audience doesn't know that. How many of them actually know about the book series?
Very few.
Exactly. They see all the hot actors. It's like, okay, I guess I'll see them have fun in the desert. And then they see Part 1. Like, what? There's a Part 2 to this? Come on. But yeah, can't wait for it. And it comes out almost this time next year in November. So can't wait. What do you got next?
Well, now I kind of have one. It'll be very brief, and obviously this is in no particular order because we know very little about this movie. Evil Dead. It was supposed to go straight to streaming, but it then got pushed saying no, it is getting a theatrical release. We still have no idea what this movie is about, but it is coming out this year allegedly.
I think it's supposed to come out in April.
It was supposed to be released in.
Like it's coming out soon. It's not like a Halloween movie.
Couple months ago. Yeah, no, it's supposed to be released a couple months ago, but with the merger, it was pushed back to be in theaters. Now, gonna be honest, who knows what this is going on? No one knows if it's a sequel to the most recent Evil Dead, which was a horrific, gory mess, and it worked so well, or if it will be in relation to the original Evil Dead. We don't know, but either way, I'm pretty excited for it.
Do you know if Bruce Campbell's back in the film?
We don't know anything.
We really just don't know.
Yeah, like it's pretty. Okay. It's pretty shot in the dark because I mean, even the end of the original or sorry, the most recent Evil Dead that came out. Bruce Campbell appeared in a post credit scene, just saying "groovy" and then going back into the shadow. So we don't know.
Oh, so it really could be just a sequel to that, or it could be a reboot, or it could just be
Yep.
anything.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Well, that means all the possibilities in the world, a lot of them could be good. So hope it's a good time. All right. So I guess the next one on my list is another director who was on my short list of I will trust completely. Though depending on the audio of this film, he's getting close to being kicked out of that list. Of course, I'm
Very.
talking about Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer. Now, surface level, this doesn't seem like a film Nolan would do. It is a period piece drama about the guy who helped make the atomic bomb. However,
Yes.
and no, before you ask, he did not set off an actual nuclear bomb for filming. The cast list for this is honestly just insane.
Yes, it is. It's got
Killian
an
Murphy. Well,
outstanding cast list.
first off, Killian Murphy finally leading a Nolan film's about goddamn time. Just congratulations. He's in he was Scarecrow. He was Inception. He's in Dunkirk. I even think he's in Interstellar too, right?
I don't recall.
Anyway, he's in a lot of Nolan films, but as a secondary character. He's the lead guy. He is Oppenheimer. Emily Blunt's wife. Oh, by the way, in case those two didn't get you interested, Robert Downey Jr. is in this. Matt Damon's in it. Rami Malek's in. They are getting an all-star list here, and
Yes, they
they're all
are.
taking pay cuts because the reported budget for this film is only $100 million. A period piece, $100 million, triple A cash right here. And by the way, as a fan, as a guy who loves box office numbers, the weekend this comes out is going to be crazy. The competition, Barbie. Oppenheimer versus Barbie, middle of summer. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you where the majority of the budget will go for this film. It's easily going to be the sound mixing. Easily.
I swear to God, if the audio in this is messed up, then like this guy is like the IMAX #1 fanboy. I went and saw Tenet in IMAX, and it sounded a bit better than Dunkirk, but that ain't saying much.
Nope. It's visually stunning director, but
Mm-hmm.
I still hold a grudge.
Yeah, me too.
I still hold that grudge. Edgar Wright deserved it. But moving on, unless you have more to say about the
Oh no, nope. Can't wait for it. Hoping it's good, and hopefully I can understand what they're saying. What do you got?
yeah, that would be a plus.
It would be.
Here's something that we can both understand what they're saying. Guardians of the Galaxy 3,
Mm.
right? Trailer just dropped. Still looks like a good time. This seems like this will be the last bout of James Gunn and the majority of that cast for the Guardians.
Well, I feel he has to because now he manages all of DC.
Yes. But with that being said, Batista has also said this is his last one as well. So I'm really excited to see what kind of send off they give this crew because Guardians of the Galaxy Volume, or at least Part 1, I think they changed to Volume 1. It did a lot better than everyone expected it to because they're
Absolutely.
kind of a C-list superhero group team up. No one's really ever heard of them until James Gunn brought them into the spotlight. Was the second one as good as the first? No. But he wanted to hit certain story beats. Now, this one seems like there is a big thing that will happen. Don't want to give out any spoilers here, but Rocket's probably going to die.
No, I'll tell you right now. I'm putting bets on this. Drax and Rocket are both dead. Boom.
Yeah, I believe it.
When it happens in May, I'm telling you. Well, when we do the podcast on that, I'm going to tell you. I called.
No, it's either that or Groot's going to die for a 100th time.
No, Groot can't die again. He's died too many times. He's got the free pass.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, not so much more I can really say about that. Soundtrack from the goddamn trailer was still on point. Seems like you're still going to get genuinely good laughs out of the movie, and there'll probably be some good action scenes.
Yeah, I mean, no Marvel movie made my list. My list of 5. But I will say, of the three Marvel movies, this is the one I'm most excited about. It really does feel like an end of an era for like
Yeah,
the cosmic phase of Marvel. Now, look, some of these guys sticking around. I think Star Lord stays around. I think Mantis stays around, especially with what happened in the holiday special. But again, they're now going to be taking a back seat. You know, they'll be back in the next Avengers movie and stuff like that. But like Guardians as the focus, this is it. And I think based on the trailer and what we're thinking is going to happen, this is going to have people leaving in tears.
It's very possible.
This is definitely going to be close to Endgame level sadness, if I would say both Drax and Rocket does. So, but I think you're right. We're going to get a killer soundtrack. Volume 1 and 2 had that. We're going to get some great action. And as long as it's a good story, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I mean, James Gunn really hasn't done any wrong recently.
No, not really. I mean, you know, even I think we're both in agreement. Volume 2 like a little disappointing, but in no way is it bad. And you know,
Yeah.
Again, just comparing it to 1, because 1 is one of the best Marvel movies ever made.
Correct.
It's just compared to that, it's not up to par. But I mean,
It's a high bar.
Yeah, give me Volume 2 over like the last few Marvel movies the past few years. I'll take Volume 2 any day.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. All right. So I guess 4th on my list is Mission Impossible 7, or I guess I should say the full title, Dead Reckoning Part 1. Basically a fucking sentence at this point, but
yeah,
this is one of those films that has been delayed over and over again because of the pandemic. This is the production of the film where we got the famous Tom Cruise rant about people messing around. That's not why I'm excited for it. Just straight up, since Mission Impossible 4, this franchise don't miss. Tom Cruise don't miss. The supporting cast has been stellar throughout. Great action. Pretty good story. And while not confirmed, they're definitely setting up that the 7 and 8 Part 1, Part 2 is like the finale of this. Right? Tom Cruise is hitting 60 now. Let's be honest, this franchise dies with him.
Yeah, it does. This
It
is
really
his franchise.
Does. Like, I know people are like, well, there's that old TV show from the 70s and 80s. No, the film franchise is Tom Cruise. He is synonymous with this. And at this point, he's close to being synonymous with Paramount, the studio. This is his baby. So I think they're going all out. Part 1, Part 2. That's a send-off. I think it's going to be a good story. I guess my only concern is that if the big stunt is him driving a motorbike off a cliff, that's not that exciting. But I think they're keeping the cards close to the vest on this one.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it's like 5 and 6 where you needed to show the big stunt to get people invested. Like, we trust you. We know you're going to go crazy. And also, they have to save something for 8 as well.
And this is kind of the last times he can go crazy like that because his body's taking a toll. I guarantee it.
Yeah, like I think action-wise, unless they do one more Top Gun film, this is it for big action. And he's going to move into smaller action. He'll move into drama films. Like, the man's still going to act another 10, 20 years, but it won't be like, I broke my leg jumping buildings in London, or I'm hanging off a plane. Like,
it's not to be as high-octane action like that with him doing the stunts 100% that are crazy wild stunts.
Exactly. Who knows? Maybe he'll cameo. Maybe he'll appear in a John Wick film.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. What do you got for your? I think it is your final film.
It is my final film. It is the culmination of how the current state of the MCU will move on. I'm talking about Ant-Man 3. Because this brings in Kang the Conqueror, which, if you watch the Loki show, you know who that is.
Which you should
be
watching.
The majority of the masses who probably haven't seen it are going to have not a fucking clue of what's going on in this movie. So I think this will kind of dictate where the MCU kind of goes from here. Will it continue to have main story beats in their TV shows, or are they going to stick mainly to cinema?
I am looking forward to this mostly for Kang. Again, you know, we are some of the many people, not everyone, but some of the many that have watched Loki. He is the next Thanos in waiting. And honestly, you know, obviously we'll do a Phase 4 breakdown at some point, but one of the joys I have now with Phase 4 being over is I kind of want that looming threat back that we had with Thanos in Phase 2 and Phase 3. We didn't get that in Phase 4. I'm hoping with Ant-Man, we're like, okay, cool. He was in Disney. He was in the Disney Plus show. Now it's like, hey, now I'm fucking up some of the Avengers. I'm here. What are you gonna
The
do
ones that
about
are
it?
left.
I'm gonna say right now, I could be completely wrong, but I want to bet big on this. Okay, I'm calling it right now. I'm less confident about this than the Guardians bet. Ant-Man's gonna die.
It's very possible.
Two reasons. One, you need a big shock to wake the audience up that Kang is a Thanos level threat. Sorry, Hank Pym, Michael Douglas, you don't count.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
killing Ant-Man, that's not really,
no,
you
it's
know.
it. Is he the strongest Avenger? No, but the point is to wake the audience up that hey, the happy-go-lucky Avenger that everyone loves, yeah, he's dead in the
Yeah,
quantum realm. This Kang ain't like, well, give me a multiverse or two and I'll be happy. It's like, no, he's coming for everything.
yeah.
Uh,
I could
yeah.
see later on in the Kang line of things, like if he took out Bucky, I think that would kind of shake things up a good bit.
Who knows? Maybe he might in the Avengers film. Again, this is just a
Yeah,
kickstart, like
correct.
because again, like when by the time this film comes out, we're like a year and a half away from the Kang Avengers film. They kind of need to pick up the pace on about how why he's a threat. All we know is multiple Kangs are coming and a war is coming, but what does that actually entail? Like this one wants to get out of the quantum realm. What is he going to do when he gets out? Don't know.
It's gonna wreak havoc most likely. But I
And
guess we just have to wait and see.
yeah, and one other reason I think Ant-Man has a good chance of dying. Uh, Mike, you've probably picked up on this with the Disney Plus shows. They're clearly setting up a young Avengers kind of team.
Yeah,
Cassie, Ant-Man's daughter, she needs some motivation. What better motivation than watching your father get brutally murdered? Just saying. That's always a good motivator for superheroes.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it definitely is.
Who knows? Maybe Bill Murray will just die and that'll be it. I don't know.
Yeah, we kind of don't know because
All right.
the trailers have been very teasing.
Well, we only got the one trailer. I kind of want more.
Exactly, and it doesn't show a lot.
No, it does not. All
But
right.
moving on, let me hear your final film you were looking forward to.
Yeah, yeah. A little bit of a different film. It's not, at least right now, it's not going to theaters. It's going straight to Apple TV Plus. I know everyone's fan favorite streaming service. Everyone has, right? Um, Argyle. Now, Argyle is a bit weird in that the movie was announced before the book was even published. So this is not this. This is a spy book that's been out for 1 to 2 years. This is not a historical famous one that everyone's read. But you have Matthew Vaughn doing a spy film that's not Kingsman. Henry Cavill being a spy. Again, we all loved him in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Well, now he's a spy again. And not like, an evil spy like Mission Impossible, but proper spy. You got John Cena, if you can see him, and you got Sam Rockwell. Oh, and Samuel Jackson as well. That's a solid cast in a spy action film. At this point, I'm looking forward to it. But my wish, he brings back some of that Kingsman 1 magic.
Yeah,
We can
but
get
not
that.
too much of it. Not too much of it, because then we get Kingsman 2.
It's true.
Then we don't want to go down that road again. Give us
I'm,
some.
come on, all right, hold on. Kingsman 2 was not that bad.
It wasn't that bad,
It
but
wasn't that great, but come on.
give us some church freebird scene if you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. Give us some of that
Yeah,
style,
yeah.
or the pub beatdown. Give us things like that, and I think we're this film could be rock solid.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, just from the cast and not really knowing too much about it, I could definitely see myself getting excited for that. We just gotta wait to see a trailer for that eventually.
Yeah,
But
at some point. Don't even have a release date, just sometime next year.
yeah, which means that could get pushed back till the following year. So who knows? This might be on your list again in a
It could
year
be.
from now.
But IMDb said 2023. That's what
But
I'm counting.
until then, you've all heard our list. What we want to know is what movies are you guys looking forward to coming soon, 2023? Feel free to let us know at Entertainment Expansion. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. As always, thank you for listening.